Welcome to another edition of the Bro Show, and we are already on our season finale, Jason. And ito na, finale na nga tayo. Ang dami na hanggang ngayon, bakante pa rin to. Wala pang, ano ba, ano yung tinitingnan mo?
Picture namin.
Ha?
Picture namin. Bro.
Nakakalungkot to ba?
Alam, balita ko kasi nagbakasyon ata to eh.
Ha?
Doon sa ano?
Saan? Saan na punta?
Nepal.
Ha? Nepal?
Yata punta to.
Grabe. Alam mo, pero kailangan mag-move on na tayo eh. Kailangan maghanap na tayo ng kapalit niyan. Kasi matagal nang wala eh.
Iniwan na ata tayo.
Iniwan na tayo. Hanap na tayo ng kapalit. Ha? Alam mo, marami naman dyan nag-a-apply. Hanap na tayo ng kapalit.
Ganun lang yun, bro?
Oo, ganun na yun. Hanap na tayo ng kapalit kasi marami naman dito.
Coach! Baka pwede ako, coach. Bilang apply, coach.
Ano?
Kaya ko naman, coach eh.
Ha?
Kayang-kaya, coach. Baka pwede ako apply, coach.
Palitan mo si Mico?
Oo, pwede. Try ko lang, coach.
Upo ka nga
Minion
dito.
ba to? Ay,
Oo,
hindi yung
minion
minion,
ba?
di ba? Yung meron yung may ganun.
Hindi, oo nga.
Siya yun.
Oo nga.
Hindi baka pwede
Kasi sa height pwede, no?
Tingnan natin kung kasya ka sa upuan.
Can you speak English?
A little bit, coach. Coach. Yeah, a little bit speak English.
A
Ano?
little bit speech English. Yan, magaling to, bro.
Can you do interview?
Yes.
Yeah?
No problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
Huh? So you want to replace Mico Halili?
Yes, yeah, no problem.
No problem?
No problem, no problem.
You are better than Mico
You are
Halili?
better.
Yeah.
Abo, ito na.
Sandali naman. Upo ako yan ah. Are you going to fight me?
No.
He's not going to fight. He's not going to fight me.
Yes.
Are you
No.
He's not going to
Awa yung
fight.
dalawa.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
Sige na. Bumalik na si Mic.
Dito yung ano.
Dito.
Ito yung totoong bro namin
Ito na pala eh.
Gugulo ka lang eh.
So confused.
Saan ka ba galing?
Sa kabilang kanto. Akala ko doon yung taping eh.
Ang tagal.
Tagal mo naman nawala.
Ang tagal mo.
Ano eh, ba traffic?
Pasign naman oh. Pasign mo naman.
Nagtitirik
Ano ba
na.
hindi masiguro para naman ako pasabong naman eh.
Kasi ang tagal mo nawala eh.
Bakit? Tagal lang naman ako na wala lang ako sandali. Nag-BRO-racay lang ako.
Buti ka pa. Kami nasa BRO-racay kami.
Di punta sa ano, nakaalis na kami.
Nainggit nga ako dun sa BRO-racay. Yung anak ko yung pumunta eh. Si Monfort.
Oo nga eh. Buti ka na namin tuloy palitan ni
I'm back,
Maling.
bros, for the season ender.
Ayan.
So glad to see all of you again. This is for a special episode.
Yan.
Ang tindi nito episode na to, bro.
Tindi. Biro mo, nasa ba tayo?
Nasa traffic. Ang dami sasakyan dumadaan.
Nasa gitna tayo ng EDSA.
Biroe mo kaya tumitigil. Dito natin nilagay. Kasi nga, season ender na ng...
Yes.
ng
Who do we have?
Bro Show.
Who do we have today?
Wala.
Ano lang naman? Wala tayong
Simple.
makuha eh.
Kasi lahat ini-interview na to. Kaya nga lang, kasi ito oo sa lahat ng interview eh. Di ba? Kaya kinuha na rin natin.
Oh, sino to?
Coach Tim Cone.
Tim Cone. Grand Slam Coach Tim Cone.
Oo.
Dami natin matatanong dyan.
Oo nga eh.
Depende.
Unang-una, tatanong ko,
Oh.
paano siya nanalo? Despite the challenges
Okay.
that Purefoods
Maganda
will face.
yun. Oo, pero ikaw, tanong mo na ng tanong dahil yung mga tanong ko hindi niya masagot eh.
Sige ka, ha? Yung bato to?
Ba? Hindi, baliktad pala. Siya pala yung nagtatanong sa akin, ako pala hindi ko masagot.
So we have Coach Tim. Wow,
Yes, oo.
grabe, tindi niyan.
At saka parang makakulangin ng isang episode nito.
I predict,
Yes.
mahaba yung mga sagot niya sa
Hindi,
tanong
maiksi
natin.
lang yung mga sagot
Hindi,
mo.
tingin ko.
Hindi, kasi a man of few words itong si Coach Tim.
Man of
Oo.
action.
A man of action, a man of few words.
Siguro
ha?
mga 5 minutes na yung interview natin.
Pero at least nandito ka na. Okay, importante dyan.
Kwento mo naman, ba't nawala ka?
BRO-racay nga.
BRO-racay.
BRO-racay.
Uy, nakita ka namin ha?
Oh, saan?
Nakita ka namin ha?
Saan mo
So ano
nakita?
ha?
Saan?
Ikaw in-interview doon sa
Oo.
Pacquiao ha? Congratulations ha?
Oo.
Bro, big time ka na.
Duwe, ah?
Ha? Sino ba nag-interview sa'yo?
Marami.
Marami. Sa ano ba yun?
Sa kabila.
Pero magaling ha? Hindi, congratulations.
Oo,
If you didn't
tama,
see it,
oo.
for CNN, in the fight, you were actually the one interviewed dito sa Pilipinas. Problema, mali lahat ng sagot mo. Nakita namin bro eh. Mali.
Hindi naman nila alam kung mali eh. Wala naman sila dito. dito eh.
Pero galing.
Yan. Pero at least yun, at least may ginagawa ka palang makabuluhan.
Alam mo naman, pero hindi, syempre, yun lang ang secondary calling ko sa buhay.
Yan.
Ang pinakauna talagang calling ko, yung ito talaga yung itirakda sa akin ng Diyos.
Yan. Oo.
Is to be on this show.
Yun.
To be a bro. To be a bro. Yan ang ano talaga.
Oo.
Yan ang vocation natin eh. Kaya syempre, hindi ko rin natiis, bumalik din ako dito.
Buti naman, hirap na ako.
Hindi, tsaka ang balita ko, di ba yung team ko parang prorated ata? Yung
Hindi, pinaghatian na namin yun.
wala bang ano yun?
Wala
Hindi
na.
ba paid,
Wala na,
paid
hindi.
absence yun?
Hindi, pinaghatian na namin yun.
Paid leave, di ba ang paid leave?
Wala.
Wala nga na-miss. Wala ba gano'n?
Oo, kaya mamaya, ikaw, you have to grill Coach Tim ko, na.
I will do my best.
Alam mo naman, hindi kami pwede magtanong. Yun lang yun.
Buti nga, pumayag siya na kayo kasama eh.
Yan. Siyempre, everyday na niya kami nakakikita eh. Kaya naman sinabi namin na pupunta ka dito. At kaya siya pumayag.
Siyempre ito, may kopya din ako nito eh.
Meron ka rin yan?
Meron. Yung kopya ko, pinis ko na lang yung picture mo.
Ayan, para tatlo.
Kasi hindi ka inuupo eh.
Hindi, kasi tayo pinagsasabay eh.
Naiyak na naman ako. Naiyak na naman ako.
O ba naiyak?
Eh, ako rin, di rin ako nakaupo eh.
Kasalanan mo naman eh.
Pero mo ikaw nagsimula, malis ka eh.
Oo nga eh. O yan, at least ngayon, nagkaupo na ulit tayo, tabi-tabi na.
Ayan, okay. So dahil kompleto na kami for the season ender, stay with us. When we return, we will have Grand Slam coach Tim Cone here on The Bro Show. Welcome back to The Bro Show, live from the Purefoods headquarters.
Practice facility.
Headquarters. And we are joined by, of course, Grand Slam coach, Earl Timothy Cone. It's such an honor.
I don't admit to the name Earl, by the way.
Well, you had no choice. You
Pretend.
had
If
no
you
choice.
see me sign my name, it's only E. Timothy. So when I was a kid, they used to call me Earl, the girl, Earl. Then I got really good at basketball, and then they started calling me Earl, the pearl.
Earl of Pearl Monroe.
Or either you make it shorter, E.T. Cone. E.T.
Like extraterrestrial.
ETC.
ECC, yeah. Okay, so
got all kinds
this is such a treat for not just for you fans, but for us.
For all the bros.
For all the bros, because we have the Grand Slam bro here. So what is it like to be a Grand Slam coach when you walk around and it's sort of short of having a shirt that says I'm a Grand Slam coach? Does it feel any different?
Well, it's what's really amazing to me, in all honesty, is that people want to take pictures and talk to me and say, I mean, it's really.
Why is that
I'm
surprising?
just a coach, you know. I mean,
You are not just a coach.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, they do it to all the coaches. But I mean, it's just an amazing thing to every day. You know, I mean, as you grow up, and then all of a sudden, people, want to, be with you because you're only a coach, and it's just it's hard to fathom sometimes. I mean, I really appreciate it, and I think it's so fascinating, but I don't feel like I deserve it. Why would anybody be? Why would they be excited about seeing me? And I know they are, but it's just a thing that hits you every once in a while. It's like, wow, They want to talk to me, or they want my autograph, or they want to take pictures with me. It's really amazing.
That's
It's really
exactly
gratifying.
what these two said. That's what they told me. He doesn't deserve it. We deserve it. We're the real brains of the...
That is true.
Buti ka, nakasabit ka na doon sa Grand Slam.
Ako huling sakay na lang, nakakapit pa ako eh.
10 games. 10 games, right?
10 games.
10 games. Jason, the luckiest guy in the world.
Okay, bros, here, this is your chance
Yeah.
to finally ask Coach Tim the questions you've always wanted to ask.
But
we're afraid to ask.
I love my job. Now, Coach, 2 Grand Slams. What were, similarities or differences of teams? Is there any, an X factor, the Alaska team before and our team right now, that enabled those teams to achieve the Grand Slam?
I get asked that question. That's a difficult question to answer. To find the differences, because they were very similar in effect. The Alaska one just kind of seemed inevitable. Because we were playing at such a high level, and we were dominating each conference. We only had one real test, and that was against Shell, coached by Chito Navasa, and we took us to Game 7. And then we went into the Grand Slam conference. We lost our first game, then we won 13 in a row. And then we won the Grand Slam 4-1 against Neva. We were leading 3-0 in the last conference, the last championship, and then we lost it. But it was still, there was an inevitability about, you know, it didn't surprise us that we won the Grand Slam. Sammy Coffey, on the other hand, I mean, we were what, the 5th seed, and then we were the 6th seed, and then we were the 4th seed or something like that. But we were never the top seed, and we were never the favorite going into any of those championship series. In fact, what was it? Talking Tex was undefeated going into that. They had swept the whole conference going into us, into that championship series. I think Rain or Shine had won 12 out of 13 games before we played them. So they were really kind of the heavy favorites. So it was really kind of with Sam Mig, it was really like we were just bleeding for every moment. And it was like, I think we were 9-0 in knockout games. I don't even think in the Bass, in the Alaska game, maybe we had 1 or 2 the whole season. So in that way, the Sam Mig one was really a trial and a test. And it was really a character developing situation for everybody, myself, you guys, the players, even the organization. Because we really felt we had to bleed for every one of them. But I tell you what, you're not going to get to that level unless you have a special group of guys, and a special core. And I felt that core of Alaska with Johnny and Jojo and Bong, Pochuino, Jeffrey, and Sean Chambers, of course. That had a special core of a group that just refused to quit and to lose. And then you turn around, you have that other special core that we had with Purefoods, led by James and PJ and Ping and Joe, you know, Mark and Marcus, and I think one of the guys that's one of the unsung hero there, James Mays. No one talks about James Mays. Everybody thought there was no chance we'd have to win that conference with James Mays. And James willed us to a championship. Just, you saw him, just by his pure, you know, desire to play hard all the time. You know, I mean, he was not skilled. He wasn't a great import, but he played hard, with big heart all the time. And it affected all of us. And that was really the second conference was really the one I thought that kind of shocked us. And I said, wow. You know, I never felt throughout that whole time, I don't know about you, I never felt the whole time that I felt we were going to have a chance to win a Grand Slam. But suddenly, after James came in and we won that one, it was like, you know, maybe we have a shot at this. Who knows?
Coach, after all that success, you know, you had so much success. And the next day, you know, after championships, after Grand Slams, how do you look back at it? You know, people want to know what goes through your mind after that, after a successful year, conference. What goes? Is it
great relief? Great relief, honestly. I'm not a celebratory guy. I'm not into, you know, going in, jumping around. And in fact, as soon as we win, I want to go straight to the press room so I don't have to be involved in all the revelry, and I don't want to get dumped on and champagne in my hair or whatever. You know, so, and I just want to get home and kind of soak it all in and just kind of get on my own for a while. I'm not big on celebrations. I never have been. To me, it's just like, you know, as it starts to go on, the pressure continually builds and builds and builds and builds. And finally, when you accomplish one, it's really a relief. And now what do I do? I mean, literally, the next day, I'm not thinking about, you know, because you're upset. You're obsessed for 24 hours a day. You are thinking, you wake up thinking about it, you go to sleep thinking about it. You know, how are you going to win this championship? What are you going to do? What are the adjustments? You know, who are you going to stop? These things go on your mind all the time. There's just no rest. And the only way I try to rest is maybe try to read a book, you know, to stop my mind from thinking. Maybe go to a movie with my wife. But other than that, I am on it all the time. I can't turn it off. And suddenly, then I'll have finished, and now you go, what do I have to think about it anymore? I mean, it's like blah, you know. And so that's really the thing. You don't know what to do with yourself anymore. It's really a funny feeling, you know. And you go over it in your mind a little bit, maybe some key plays and key times, but you can't do that long because you got to move on. As Mark BRO-racay says, yesterday ended last night. You know, you got to move on, move forward. And so you don't want to dwell on it. And I think that's really the key with that Sam Mig team, is that we moved forward all the time. Whether we had a bad loss or whether we had a great victory, we moved on and moved on and moved on. And that was the mental strength of that team that I thought. I thought with the Alaska team, we had great momentum all the way through, and we lived off that momentum. But this team lived off the mental strength of recovery, of moving on and moving forward. And man, my hat's off to those guys. Really, really, they're special.
Coach, you said that basketball for you is like a 24/7 thing. You're like almost permanently plugged into the sport, and because of that, I know you watch a ton of sports on television whenever you have the time. I know you like your baseball because of the Cardinals. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm a huge Cardinal
And of
fan.
course, you watch.
Can't wait to get home to watch the replay of the Cardinal game when
Exactly,
I get home.
and then I would assume you watch a ton of NBA whenever you can.
I do, but I don't watch as much basketball as I do baseball, believe it or not. I don't watch as much anymore. I don't watch as much basketball as I do American football. And I probably watch more tennis than I do basketball. Basketball is probably my fourth sport in terms of watching, only because I see it all the time. I mean, I'm not watching, I watch the Knicks now. God forbid I'm a
Why are you watching?
I'm a New York Knicks fan.
You're a Grand Slam coach.
How sad is that?
Why are you watching the Knicks of all teams?
I'm learning how not to coach. I'm learning not what to do.
Tim is sitting there. That is not a triangle.
Exactly right. You're exactly right. No, I mean, I've hated the Knicks my whole life, and now Phil Jackson, the triangle guru, goes to the New York Knicks, and now I've got to be a Knicks fan, because I'm a system fan. I'm not a Knicks, Growing up here...
Are they running the system?
Yes, they're running the pure triangle. Not with much success, obviously, but they're running it. But, the nice thing about, for me, as a Kano, growing up in Manila, is that I have no allegiance to a town in the States. Yeah. So I can pick and choose which
team catches your fancy.
I like, right?
Okay.
So my grandfather grew up on the same block as the owner of the St. Louis Cardinals, the baseball team. So he made me be a Cardinal fan from the time I was
Not
2.
because you were from St. Louis.
No, he was from St. Louis because
Okay.
he grew up there. But I was from the West Coast. And I like the Pittsburgh Steelers in American football. I'm a diehard fan. In fact, the NFL draft is going on, and I know they picked up Dupree, and I know all the guys they picked up. I can tell you the whole draft. I can tell you all about them, because I've read all up, because I'm a fanatic in those things. But that's on that really other side. That's the East Coast. St. Louis is in the middle. Pittsburgh's on the East Coast. And then I used to be a Bulls fan, first a Lakers fan because of Magic Johnson. And then Magic left, and then the Bulls started running the triangle, and I got to know Tex Winter, so I became a big Bulls fan. Then they went to LA, I went back to being an LA fan, and then they left LA, and I'm like,
What are you going to do?
yeah, honestly, for 2 years, I didn't know who to watch. I really didn't know, and I kind of started following the Spurs a little bit, because I just was kind of interested in their system. And then Phil Jackson goes to the Knicks. I mean, how bad is that? The team I've hated my whole life, he goes to the Knicks.
The most unwatchable team in the
Yeah, I
NBA.
gotta watch the Knicks now. And so I've watched every Knicks game. And
That is sad. That is
it
sad.
was painful.
That's very sad.
It's painful. And
That's a waste of cable. Huh?
yes, it is, but
League pass pa yan, bro.
to me, it's kind of watching an evolving team now. I mean, how many times you get to watch a team from its really and it's a bottom of the
from
barrel,
scratch, like from
and
here.
then building up. I'm just hoping they build. I don't want to watch them down here all forever, but I'm hoping they build. And now where are they going to go from here?
So
it is kind of interesting in that way.
So Coach, you've changed allegiance pretty much often. So, Coach, Pinoy ka na. Kasi Pinoy na.
There's a term for that. Balimbing.
Yeah, balimbing. Balimbing. No, I'm a system fan. I tell Tex and I tell basketball pundits that I'm a system fan. And I follow the system. So wherever the triangle goes, I follow because I want to try to learn from it. The other thing, is that I'm really proud of this because we text all the time, and I'm a good friend of Eric Spoelstra now, I can honestly say. And I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud that he gives me the time of day. And so I'm obviously a Heat fan. And I love their system of defense. I'm not big on their system of offense because I'm a triangle guy, but I do like Eric. And I tell you what, we should be, you know, we're proud of Manny and everything that he brings, and but I also, and Eric isn't anywhere near that level. But I tell you what, Eric should be a hero of ours because he is a tremendous representative of this country and who he is. He is just like the most humble person you will ever meet. Eric Spoelstra. He is so humble. His humbleness, his humility, is the only reason he was able to handle LeBron and Dwayne and Bosh and win championships. And everybody said, well, anybody could win that championship with those guys. I tell you what, he was special because of his humility. And I don't think very many guys could have handled those three for 4 years and keep them together. And he did. And it was because, again, it was about them and never about him. And he's a special guy. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I want to peg that in there. Plug it in there. Sorry, no.
Also proud to be Filipino.
Eric's paying me for that, by the way.
I'm sure he's watching.
I'm sure he's going to watch this one. He watches the Bro Show every week.
Like you can also say hi to LeBron. They're also watching.
Oh, the Knicks are watching.
Oh,
they have a lot of time to watch.
They're going to send an assassin over to kill me after what I talked about with the Knicks.
No, but I would imagine you've seen enough of, let's say, Golden State and Cleveland to have an assessment of how far those two teams can go.
I watch them. I watch
so let's
games.
start
I
with
just
Golden
don't
State.
study them as much as I do New York. Believe it or not.
So Warriors, can
Well,
they
it's
go all the way?
that's actually kind of like my secondary team because of Steve Kerr, and he's a triangle guy as well. And it's been really interesting watching him kind of mesh, because you know he played for Popovich for about 5 years as well during their championship years. He played for Jackson at the Bulls, and so he's kind of meshed the two together. And actually, as these guys know, we try to kind of do it ourselves over here with lesser success. But it has kind of watching him and some of the stuff has kind of expanded us as well. And what he's able to do in terms of taking these guys to a new level. And I think it's really the mental aspect that he's been able to bring that maybe Mark Jackson couldn't do. Matt Jackson, I felt, was a very good strategic coach, very good system coach. But Steve Kerr has that Phil Jackson, I think, thing where, you know, he's very even-keeled. You don't see him get off the bench. You don't see him getting mad at people. But he's able to make his point. And I think that's really key. And they trust him in that. And he allows Steph to be Steph, and he allows those guys to be their guys. And, you know, who else would have found Damon Green?
Yeah.
I mean, where did he come from?
Undersized,
Power forward.
who defends Anthony Davis.
Everyone.
Anybody. Yeah. I mean, and still can contribute on the offensive end. I mean, he's obviously very creative in the way he sees the game. And so I have great appreciation for the Warriors. I think if I wanted anybody to win this championship, if I was polling for anybody, I'm kind of a closet fan of Doc Rivers. I like Doc. I like the way he talks to his team. I like his quotes. I collect quotes, and I have dozens of Doc Rivers quotes. We just shared an article. I shared it to the coaching staff a couple days ago. So I have kind of an appreciation for Doc, although I'm not a huge fan. I just appreciate the way he goes about his business. But I would say I'm at this point right now, since the Knicks are out of the playoffs,
Surprisingly,
I'm a Warriors fan. Short-term Warrior fan.
So that's your team for the playoffs.
Yeah.
More than Cleveland, more than anyone
Well,
else.
I'm not a LeBron fan anymore because he
left
Eric.
Eric.
So I'm not a LeBron fan anymore. And also, they sent over Shumpert and J.R.
Smith.
J.R. Smith. And
from your beloved Knicks.
And they kicked the Knicks on their way out the door, you know. So and my beloved Knicks. So I'm not fans of that team anymore.
I just want to.
But I thought the most interesting thing about Cleveland was watching Blatt coach them. To me, that was not LeBron coming in. I thought watching Blatt, who's been the European influx and coming in pretty much straight, handling a superstar and how, you know, he struggled. And it's interesting how he struggled like Miami did when LeBron first went there. They went through the same kind of struggles. And it's been interesting to watch him.
Do you
coach.
feel his stress? Coach Blatt.
God, yes. Sorry. Yes, he is really under the microscope.
Oh, wow.
And he's handled it. But now that Love is out,
There's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But is it, do you think that he's been successful? His shift from the European League to the NBA, would you say on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe?
I don't feel he's coaching the way he wants to coach, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel he's coaching to success, and he's just searching for ways to be successful. But I don't think he's coaching the way he would like to coach.
So
I'm not sure you could coach the way you like to coach if LeBron's on your team.
Yeah. So
you have to make all kinds of adjustments.
Do you believe the stories that it's actually LeBron who's calling plays?
No. Yeah, I mean, on the floor, sure, but I don't think Brad's that upset about it. I mean, again, you have to give LeBron, his respect, and he's won championships. He's the best player on the planet. You got to give him his freedom. You got to let him go, and you've got to adjust to him more than he's going to adjust to it. And I thought that was really interesting. I was talking to this writer from the States, and we were talking about Cleveland. This is before the season started. I said it would be interesting to see if LeBron can adjust to the European style. With all the ball movement, the kind of Spurs type of stuff where you have to move constantly, and whether he has the stamina to do that and the will to move without the ball, because that's really the way the Europeans are successful: ball movement and movement without the ball. And because he's really a give me the ball, let's get this thing done. And that was one of the problems that Miami had. It got too LeBron centric, and so I thought, will LeBron be able to adjust to that? And in the beginning, no, he didn't. And he never did. What happened was Blatt adjusted to LeBron. And he started changing things up. They're playing a lot differently now than they were at the beginning of the season. Their systems, their plays, their defense is all different, because give Blatt credit. He didn't sit there and put his foot on the ground and say, this is the way it's going to be done.
My way or the
my
highway.
way or the highway. His job was to get the best that he could out of his players, and he made adjustments. And when you have the best player on the planet, you do that. And we do that oftentimes for our imports. We have to, because they are the best guys on the floor. We have to adjust the way we coach for them to get the most out of them. Because otherwise we just bang our head against the wall until we start bleeding, getting our concussions, because they aren't going to do what we ask them to do. So you have to adjust. But there's a balance there, obviously, because they just can't come in and do anything they want to do. And the same thing with LeBron. But I had some interesting conversations with Eric the last time I was with him about how he handled LeBron when LeBron first came to the Heat. It was very, very interesting. But if I tell you, I have to kill you. Because he'll probably kill me.
It's okay. We can just tweet about it.
But it's kind of like what I was talking about with Blatt. The same thing.
Same adjustment.
Yeah, same kind of adjustments. But Eric was so humble and saying, if I come in here and I screw up, and we don't do anything, I'm just a nobody.
Yeah.
And I'm gone, no big deal. But if you come in here and you get nothing done, you're going to be the one with all the blame. So how are we going to work this out? Basically, that was kind of the conversation, a little bit, a small gist. So it was very interesting, and so they both adjusted. He put the pressure back on LeBron.
It's a smart thing to do.
To say, hey, it's not about me, it's about you. And how do you want to do this? And again, part of the humility. And I think Blatt has taken that kind of the same approach. And I think it's smart. Smart. You can't beat the superstars. Coaches got to realize they will not beat the superstars. They got to work with them. Got to figure out a way.
Coach,
Coaches understand that.
even with different cultures, is it the same here? I mean, handling egos of players?
Oh, yeah. Basketball is the same everywhere. That's one thing that we found out, and I found out visiting NBA teams and talking to Eric Spoelstra, talking to Tex Winter, having my minute conversation with Jackson, about 30 seconds. And watching, watching the NBA and watching UAAP and watching NCAA in the States. Basketball is the same everywhere. There's egos in every port. You got to deal with them. It's a little different here in the PBA because we have everyone has their own Michael Jordan. Their import comes in, he's the Michael Jordan, and you've got to try to adjust to him. You've got to try to adjust your offense to him, and you got to try to stop the other Michael Jordan over there. I mean, how many leagues in the world have? I mean, NBA. There's only one Michael Jordan, or maybe two, one LeBron, maybe a Dwayne over here, or some. All 12 teams have a Michael Jordan, and you have to figure out how to stop him. But and you have to figure out how to handle him. And I think that's one of the big, if you can handle your import and you can get him enmeshed in your system and part of your culture and getting along with his teammates, then you have a chance to win a championship. If you can't do those things, you do not. And that's really the challenge of a coach. And because he is your key player. And the same thing goes for, I've got to handle James. Yeah. Frankie Lim right now has to handle Kagiwa. Jong has to handle Jason Castro. Well, I don't know. I don't know about Yang. I don't think anybody has Yang. Yang's another story altogether. But he's still got Paul Lee, but Yang's a whole new ball game. But I mean, Norman's got to handle Gary David. We all have our guys that we have to handle, and that oftentimes dictates our success as coaches.
Okay, we'll take a short break. We'll have the remainder of our fantastic conversation with Coach Tim Cone here in the Bro Show after the break. We're back here in the Bro Show with the one and only Grand Slam coach, Tim Cone. If I say that you are this generation's Baby Dalupan, would you admit to that? Would you accept that kind of distinction and responsibility?
Well, I was over at Baby's house about 3 months ago, and his daughter invited. He has a book coming out, and it's about his life, and it's a life in pictures and life in print. And they asked me to do the foreword of the book. Wow! And it was. And I did it, and I've submitted it, and it's going to come out, I think, in May, sometime in May, I think, this month, or maybe June. Yeah. I can't tell you, I don't think I've ever been so honored before. Truly. I've won awards and stuff, but the fact that they asked me to do the forward, even now I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And it took me a long time to do it, only because I want to do it right. And it was about a little over about 1,200 words, and so they invited me over to the house, and I was able to have breakfast with Baby and his wife, and he's an amazing man. He's 92, I think now. He doesn't see well, but he knows. He was like the biggest fan of the PBA. He knew everything that was going on in the PBA. Like the thing that happened yesterday. I was like shocked.
Like he's still coaching.
Yeah. And he really can't see it all. He has to be led around. But his mind is
sharp,
bright as ever. He walks. He can move. He's physically he's fine. Yeah. Just his eyes. And he's hilarious. He's really funny. And talking about. And I said this I thought about this immediately when I was with him, that I felt like I was talking to an older Eric Spoelstra. The guy was incredibly humble. When we talked about the team, it was always about them. It was never about him. Never about him. And just a really, really special man. I've been with him before. I've talked to him. But this was the first time I really got to really sit down and just him and I. And it was really a special time. And he's a special man. And if I can be mentioned in his breath, then that's a special feeling. He is the father of us all. He is the original, and he is the first. And no matter who comes after him, he will always be that. And nothing can be taken that away. And I think that's what he deserves. And people try to say, well, I broke his record. He won 52. I want to say that again. 52. He won 52 championships in his career, including Mico, NCAA, UAP, and PBA. 52 championships. Who can ever beat that record worldwide? Nobody. Not a Coach K or Dean Smith or anybody. You include high school championships. No one will ever break that. 52 champ. He was holding the trophy 52 times. Imagine if he had 52 rings. I mean, what would he do with them? I mean, he had to line up all of his kids, and we all put our hands up like that. I mean, the man is amazing, and he's a special guy. And I always thought that, and it just was hammered into me that day when I met him for breakfast. And I tell you, I'm so proud that I was able to be part of his legacy by doing that forward. You know, I mean, I wanted to be a writer as myself, and to actually put my name in a book and say that that's run by me I'm really kidding. I'm really happy about it. And I thank his daughter, Cecile, for she was the one that selected me for the honor. So I feel real close to the DeLupin family now, and I kind of capped off my career.
I think that's an exclusive club. You have to win like a lot of championships to be part of that circle.
Well, I just, again, being with him and being mentioned with him is an honor. I grew up myself, you know, watching the old Crispa Toyota, even the Mica days and the
So you're a
Meralco.
Crispa fan?
No, that's ironic. And
Good.
I told him that. I was there, you know, the Meralco. I started with Meralco. I was a Meralco fan, and in the old Mica days. And then, of course, I moved with Jaworski and Fernandez as they moved along to Toyota, and then when they split, I became a Tanduay fan, and I moved with Mon.
Oh, you joined Mon, huh?
Yeah, I joined Mon, and but you know, when you're a fan and you watch a team, and when they win, you know, you celebrate with the players, and you think, wow, the players are really good, and they're a good coach, but you celebrate with the players. If you follow a team and they lose, you don't blame the players of the other. You blame the damn coach of the other team, and you learn to appreciate the coach. And that's what happened to me. I learned to appreciate Baby DeLupin because he was beating the tar out of, you could say a worse word, but the tar out of Meralco, and you know, he was winning those 52 championships.
on the way there.
And so, you know, you learn to appreciate Baby. So I of all the coaches growing up, I knew Baby. You know, I mean, I knew Ford, and I mean, I was going to say Ford Acuna, but even before that, Dante Silverio, and Tommy, and Eddie, and Edo Campo, and Eddie Aduque. I mean, you know, I knew all those guys, but it was really Baby that you stuck in your mind, and you actually watched. If you wanted to see the game, you watched Baby and the way he went about his business, because you knew he was the best. But I was
What has kept you going, Coach, through all these years of coaching? Ever since you started coaching, you haven't stopped, right?
No.
There was no break in between. I mean, for how many years?
26 years.
26 years.
In the PBA.
You know, and coaching is such a draining job, so stressful. You just keep going at it.
Yeah, they complain all the time. Huh?
I mean, with the same passion day in, day out. So
Well, I appreciate that. You're the one who sees me, so I hope I'm bringing that passion day in and day out. I know I'm not. I kind of brought it today. You can see I did. I bring it today.
See, that's passion,
I
no?
feel like first time I coached in 2 years.
That's not passion. No passion.
this was light blue earlier.
We just wanted to make sure you saw the colors: black, blue, and charcoal gray. Now that it's Bassat. Yesterday ended last night. You know, I read a lot of leadership books, and you know, as they know, I'm a big John Maxwell fan, and I think those guys kind of inspire you to keep going, keep moving. And that's another thing that I read about. With, you know, if you talk or if you listen to Phil Jackson, you hear his interviews and you read his books, it's all about moving forward. You know, it's just you move forward, and you have those tough losses. I think the tough losses are easier to move forward for me. It's easier to move forward to me because I know that they happen now. You know, earlier in my career, I used to, you know, bring it home, and my family would scatter into the rooms to, you know, get out of the way. You know, they might get hit by a base, you know, or something like that, or you know. So, but as I've gotten older, I realize those things happen. It's easy to move forward. What's harder to move forward is big wins. big wins are harder to move forward because they're fun to listen, they're fun to think about, and they're fun to discuss with other people, and it's fun to hear, "Boy, good game last night," you know, or "You played well last night," or you know.
How you forget about that? How do you?
Yeah, and so again, you have to learn to move forward. So, you know, Joel Banal, I just saw it on Twitter a couple days ago. He was interviewed by somebody. I don't know who he was interviewed. He was on a TV program. Someone asked him, I guess, what keeps Tim going. And he said, I was really, really proud of this. He says, Tim coaches every day like he's never won anything. And I thought, wow, that was really nice of him to say that. I mean, you know, he was my assistant coach for 12 years, 13 years, and part of the Alaska Grand Slam. But for him to say that was, whoa, that was really, really nice. And I, if that's the case, then I guess that's the reason why I can stay passionate and keep on winning. You know, my answer has always been, winning never gets old. You know, it doesn't get old. I mean, the losing does, but the losing just motivates you to win, and then the winning never gets old. So, I don't know. I don't get bored with it. I love being around young men who try to get better. I mean, that sounds kind of funny. Being an old man that I am. I better not say that anymore. I used to say that a lot.
We can edit that out.
I think you better edit that one out.
Coach, everyone just pretty much see you as a coach, and you know, they really don't see the other side of you. Maybe outside of the sport, what is your biggest pride and joy?
Well, I mean, that's easy. I think almost 99% of fathers would say it, but you know, it's my kids. You know, I mean, obviously, that's the easy answer. My kids, and to be truly honest, is the mother of my kids, and my wife, obviously, but
I guess she's watching now. That's why you have to. Let's not forget.
I was going to say something, but I better not. No, I mean, you know, there's a real sense of family, and I think that truly, if I can honestly say it without being trite or trying to pretend like I belong or anything, but I really feel that's my upbringing that I learned in this culture, is the idea of family. And I don't see that strong idea of family in the U.S. as much as I see it here. And I think the idea of family is inbred in the local culture, and I grew up here, and I just feel like that's something I have, and a real love of family and kids. And I love to see my kids be successful. I mean, I told Mr. Ong asked me, what are my goals? And at the time when I was hired, and I said, number one, to equalize and surpass Baby DeLupa's record, and to send all my kids to college, hopefully in the U.S., which takes a lot of money. That's a big goal, it really is, and that's something I'm trying to achieve, and those are the two goals that I have in life. So to me, it's kids and winning championships. I guess those are the two most important things that I have. But I love my tennis. I love my occasional golf. I play tennis 7 days a week. I love my occasional golf, and I love my movie nights with my wife that we have 2 or 3 times a week. We're movie addicts, and that's basically my life. Other than that, it's just eat, drink, and sleep basketball.
And spend time with these two guys.
And watching that's the sad part. But I mean, I watch the Cardinals to take a break. I watch the Pittsburgh. I can't wait for football season to start. And I actually watch more baseball and football than I do basketball. But I can't watch a basketball game to enjoy it.
Because you're thinking, you're
I have to. I have to
it.
break it down. I have to analyze it, and I get frustrated with bad basketball.
Because you're watching the Knicks, that's why.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Watching the wrong team.
But, you know, when I see a great play, I go, oh, that's such a low percentage play. If I was a coach, I would have put him on the bench, you know. I mean, the great plays don't thrill me, you know. I mean, it's the fundamental things that go on that thrill me. But in baseball, I can be thrilled by the great plays. In football, I can be thrilled by the great plays. In tennis, I can be thrilled. But basketball, it's playing the game the right way. And honestly, very few of the NBA teams play the game the right way. So you see a lot of bad basketball. Sorry.
Again, I think you're watching the wrong team. That's why you feel that way. We'd like to thank Coach Tim for, spending a little out of his non-basketball time with us. Yeah. Especially because he's sick of the two of you.
That's why you're applying for to be an assistant.
Oh,
to get a t-shirt too.
To be an assistant. Yep.
I have my bro show every day. Can you imagine that? Every day I have my bro show.
Let's formalize it by my entry. Unfortunately, Maninga is not ready to retire,
Maninga's not
so I
ready to
can't take
retire
over
yet,
his job. Again, we'd like to thank Coach Tim.
Yeah.
For,
Coach, would
for
you like
joining the
to
Bro
say
Show.
something to all the Purefoods fans
Yeah.
who are worried? We're going to our next conference, Some of them are, I get asked this a lot. What's happening to us? What's happening to Purefoods? Should they get worried?
Well, I really feel basketball is cyclical. You can't win all the time. And oftentimes you raise your own expectations.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to meet your expectations that you've raised. And sometimes you have to have those expectations go down a little bit so you can start surpassing them again. And the Grand Slam was a wonderful thing, but it's done and over with. Yesterday ended last night, and I think that it's a difficult time getting over it. It's difficult for the fans to get over it. So imagine how difficult it is for the players to get over it. And to me, oftentimes you don't have success, therefore you need a change. That's the mindset that goes through most people. Oh, we need to change it up because we're not succeeding. But sometimes it just takes patience. Sometimes it just takes, the failures amount to development. The failures amount to motivation. And sometimes you have to fail to recover your motivation. So, do we need to shake things up on our team to be better? No, I don't believe that. I've always felt continuity is the thing that makes things successful in the long term. And that's what we're looking for is long-term success. We're not looking for tomorrow's success. We're looking for tomorrow and next week's and combined success until as far as we can see. And so for us to dip a little bit, to be honest with you, maybe the management doesn't want me to say that, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a little bit of failure because I know that's going to motivate a Mark Pingers, a James Yap, a PJ, and we're going to start climbing the mountain again. And whether we climb the mountain real soon with this conference, that's anybody's guess. There are a lot of good teams out there. A lot of good teams out there. As Talkatex and Rain or Shine and San Miguel, Alaska proved last conference. A lot of good teams out there. But I feel this group has as good a shot as anybody, and I feel they will find a way to remotivate themselves. And I find that they'll find a way to climb back up on that mountain. And it just takes patience sometimes, and I'm willing to be patient. Never been a win now guy. And I think that attitude of not trying to win now all the time won us a Grand Slam. That's where we are right now, trying to find our way back. But I have great belief that we will.
And there you go. On that note, we'd like to thank everyone for watching this special edition of the Bro Show.
Yes. Season ender.
Season ender.
Yes.
Season ender.
Season
So
ender.
let's thank everyone who joined us for season 1.
Oh yeah, everybody who took the time to guest on the Bro Show, thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed the season. We're looking forward to more shows.
Ayun, sa awa ng Diyos, wala pa kami sa iTunes. Hindi ako sinungaling. Lalabas na rin kami sa iTunes tsaka sa YouTube. Antayin nyo lang.
Malapit na, malapit.
Antayin nyo lang. Panoorin nyo to siguro mga 3 months from now. Siguro nasa iTunes. But thank you to everyone that's been clicking on the portal and have been supporting the Bro Show all throughout. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so we'll see you soon. Thank you, bros. Have a great day ahead.